What's going on, YouTube? Back with another video. Today we got another build video, the NBA template builds. Somebody had asked how to get here. Hold on one second. Yeah, just ranking the best centers because somebody asked for centers. So if you could throw that on the screen, yeah, appreciate you, because I was just gonna go down to shooting guard, but you asked for centers, we get it to you. That's what we do around here. But this is how you get the template builds. You just go into this My Career, you go to an empty file, and then you just go NBA builds, and then it should be right here, and then it'll show you all the NBA builds. But that's how we're gonna do it, and that's what we're gonna do today for the centers. And to finish off the intro, you know, always like to spread the word. So where are we at? Colossians chapter 1 verse 15. Christ is the visible image of the invisible God. He existed before anything was created and is supreme over all creation. For through him God created everything in the heavenly realms and on earth. He made the things we can see and the things we can't see, such as thrones, kingdoms, rulers, and authorities in the unseen world. Everything was created through him and for him. He existed before anything else, and he holds all creation together. Christ is also the head of the church, which is his body. He is the beginning, supreme over all who rise from the dead. So he is first in everything. For God in all his fullness was pleased to live in Christ, and through him God reconciled everything to himself. He made peace with everything in heaven and on earth by means of Christ's blood on the cross. So yeah, that was Colossians chapter 15, or chapter 1 verse 15 through 20. I mean, I feel like that was pretty self-explanatory. You know, started off, Christ is the visible image of the invisible God. He existed before anything was created, supreme over all creation. For through him God created everything in the heavenly realms and on earth, made the things we can see, can't see. Everything was created through him and for him. He's the beginning, supreme over all who rise from the dead. Christ is the head of the church. Like, it's pretty self-explanatory if you just break down each line. So I don't feel like I really got to spread too much of a message, you know what I'm saying? Jesus is Lord. That's pretty much all I can really say about it, you know what I'm saying? Who else better to go to for anything that you need, anything that you're feeling? Who else better to go to than Jesus? Because he's Lord. It's all pretty broken down. Visible image of the invisible God. Yeah, you guys can do your own research, do what you guys got to do, accept the message, project it. Hopefully, I pray that you guys accept it, but it's all up to you. At the end of the day, I can't. All I can do is spread the message, plant the seed. So let's go ahead and get into the video. All right, what are we doing? We're doing centers. So first one, it's all alphabetical. So the first one's Bam. Looking at it, it's a pretty solid all-around build. You know, 6'9", because Bam's undersized. Honestly, it's pretty solid, especially with cap breakers. You can do a lot with this build. Like put your defensive board to that 96, get Hall of Fame rebound chaser, and then you can max +1 that. Like a cap breaker to the 96, max +1 it. That'll give you the legend. What is it? Rebound chaser. Pretty solid. You can put some cap breakers on midi. That'll give you 85 midi. That's enough to shoot. It's a pretty solid build. It's fast enough, strength. Gives you what, gold, silver brick wall? Pretty sure silver brick wall. Like, if you really, like, you can use this build. It's a pretty solid build. I would say, personally, I would like a little bit of higher midi off rip. I would bring down something like, close shot. If I was to actually make this build, like, without just using it, like, I would come in, I would bring down close shot to where it starts bringing something else down. Like right here, it brings down post control. So I bring that down. I put the midi up off rip, to be honest. Honestly, I'd bring interior down because people don't really post up like that. I think all you need is the 82 for post lockdown. Honestly, then I'd put my strength up to an 89 and then just use some cap breakers there too. If you really wanted to play around with it, I'd play around with it a little bit more, but Bam's pretty solid. Birdman has a build. I didn't pre-look at these, so I don't know. I never knew that. I guess the Birdman build, this is really throwing me off. Pretty solid interior finisher, can stand and dunk 85, drive an 80. Close shot's a little too high. I prefer a build that can shoot, so I would probably adjust some things with that. But I guess it's not bad. Can you get that? I would say moving the D board up. I feel like the most important thing as a big this year is having the 99 board, so bringing the board up to where you can get it to a 94, and then using your cap breakers there. And I prefer offensive board over defensive, but in all, just ranking the build, it's a pretty solid build. Definitely usable as an interior big. I would say you just don't need a lot of these things, like the block at a 93. Why would you even go 93? I'm pretty sure 94 is, one second, I'm so sorry. 94 Okay, no, 93 is gold paint patroller. Yeah, so solid build. Interior big, first shooting, not bad. Right now, I would prefer Bam over because I prefer shooting, like I said. Anthony Davis, they're cooking his shooting. He's a way better shooter than that. Pretty solid. Damn, they're cooking his boarding too. I would say Bam's still better, strictly due to the fact that he has a higher board and he can still shoot better. Other than that, honestly, AD doesn't do much better than Bam besides some post work. So if you're trying to post up, you can go AD, but I would say Bam's still the better big in that sense. Jalen Duren, what do we got? Still can't shoot. Another solid interior, he can board. I would still prefer Bam over all these builds, but I would put this one as an interior. I would put this one above Birdman, to be honest, strictly due to the board. If it depends on what you're trying to do. If you're trying to play more in a comp setting, I would go Jalen Duren, but if you're trying to be more of just like a fun interior inside big, I would go Birdman, if that makes sense, because comp bigs, you need the board, you don't really need to do all the extra stuff, so I would say go with Birdman. AD honestly is kind of the worst template at this current juncture because it kind of doesn't do too much, I would say, in either sense, whether you're just trying to have fun or if you're just trying to play comp. It's kind of just in between. It's kind of just mid. Like, it's not a terrible build, but by far out of the four, it's the worst one. Embiid, finally some shooting. Embiid's probably your best big so far. He's a footer. Still don't think you need some of this stuff, like close shot is too high. Post control, maybe a little bit too high. Midi, that's perfect. Pass sack, I would prefer more pass sack too if you're playing 5. Would also prefer more speed, but rebound, I would also prefer more offensive board too. I would prefer both those boards pretty high, offensive being more, so I would take down close shot. But overall, I would say this is the I still like Bam personally because of how he had both boards. I don't know, he didn't. I'm tripping. I will go Embiid and Bam as the top 2 right now. I won't put one above the other, but Embiid does have a higher shot, so that kind of puts him above 2, and he's taller too as a big, so that's always good. So I will go Embiid. Chet, pretty solid. I think I looked at Chet's build one time. Pretty solid, to be honest. I would say the board is just too low for a comp setting, but if you're trying to have fun, this is a really good build to use. You can dribble, you can shoot, you can dunk, you can play defense. Board's not the highest, but you can't say you're gonna get away with boards, but the board is really OP this year. But this is a pretty solid big in everything except rebounding. Defense, dribbling, shooting, and dunking. Rebounding, you're gonna have to use a rebounding takeover, which is nothing wrong with it, but solid build. My favorite to look at right now is Chet, won't lie. Jaren Jackson Jr., what was his pass at? 75, solid. It's just straight mid. I don't even mean that, no disrespect, it's just mid. Not a terrible build, not a good build, it's just mid. It's just kind of just in no man's land, to be honest. It's kind of like how AD's was. I wouldn't use this build over any of the other builds type of thing. Yoke, high pass sack, can shoot, can finish a little bit, can board, is slow as dirt, but has high strength. I would put this in like the second tier behind Embiid, Chet, and Bam. I would put Jokic right behind that. I feel like this is another one kind of in between of, it's not comp because it doesn't have a high enough. I guess you could use it in comp. You can use this in comp. I would change things, but you can use it in comp. Fun, you can use it for fun too. High pass sack, can shoot, can finish. I would say solid build. I'll bump it up to that. I would still say Chet and Embiid are the 2 best. Bam and Jokic, the next 2 so far. Mutombo, high block, high board, can't do nothing with the ball in his hands, can't shoot a lick. High standing, I guess is another solid interior big. I'm not a fan of interior bigs, so it's hard for me to rate him, but high enough standing, high close shot, can't do really much post work. I would also prefer a little bit of higher driving dunk, because if you're rolling to the rim off a pick and roll, you want a higher driving dunk too. But other than that, it's pretty solid for rebounding and defense, but it's also slow, which kind of sucks this year. Like, the speed for bigs is really slow. Shaq, gonna be your best interior big. I think that's pretty self-explanatory. He's even slower. Dang, 37 at Jill. You're not moving nowhere defensively. 94 offensive board. That's what I like to see. High block, high interior, decent pass sack, can finish him inside. Best inside big so far, I'll say that. Post scoring and all that. So if you're trying to do that, go ahead and do that. Porzingis. Good finishing, good shooting. I would say shooting is like the perfect spot. Like 89 midi is where you want to go to for that goal set shot. So shooting is kind of perfect. And then he has a high enough 3-ball to shoot consistently too. Can finish. I would prefer more board, but I would put this on that A tier. I would bring some of the finishing down, like an 80 driving lay you don't need with the high 90 dunk and the 73 driving. Close shots a little too high too. Don't need that much, but Porzingis is definitely one of the better builds too. I would say Chet and Porzingis. I would still say Chet's my favorite, but I'll put Porzingis up there too. Sabonis, decent board, slow as dirt, can't play defense to save his life. This build's torch. Do not use this build, all due respect. You can shoot, but like the defense and the lower board, I wouldn't go for it personally. Miles Turner, good defense, can shoot, great defense and great shooting, can finish. I like the finishing. It's not too high, not too low. It's actually perfectly in the middle. I'll prefer some higher pass ac as well and higher board, but he can move too. 60 speed, 65 agility, 84 strength. I'll prefer that 85, but you got cap breakers, so it's not terrible. Miles Turner definitely up there too. Another solid build you can use. Still say Chet's my favorite though out of all of them. Wemby, I was trying to see how much more we got left. Good board, good block, great defense, can pass, pretty good, can shoot. If you're good at the game, this is a really good build to use. I like the shooting with this build. If you know how to shoot, you can get away with it being at a 78 if you know how to shoot, and finishing's at a perfect spot. 7 threes aren't the best, but he's not slow with the 60 speed because he's probably the lightest weight. Solid build. I would say this is up there with Chet. As a 7-3 is probably a fun build to use, and you could be comp if you know how to shoot with this build and know how to dribble with this build too. Zubac, good board, good defense, good pass ac. Can shoot the midi, can't shoot the 3. If you're gonna use an interior big, I prefer having midi. That's just me personally. So I like having midi with his inside. This is a really solid big. I would prefer more speed and agility too, especially if you're playing 5s, trying to get up and down the court. Or if you have the plate on the perimeter, I prefer more agility as well, but pretty solid build and all. I'll put Zubac in that B tier with Embiid and all them as well. And I think that's all of them. So yeah, I would say Chet's my favorite. I would say Chet's my favorite because he can dribble, shoot, dunk, defend. Low board, but he can move with the high speed, high agility. So I would say Chet's my favorite personally. I would say Bam's a solid for your undersized big. Shaq's your best interior. Embiid is one of your better all around. Straight comp though, honestly, it's hard to say straight comp because the boards aren't high enough with nothing else. So honestly, straight comp, honestly, Bam might be your best for straight comp for that all-around kind of big. So I would say, yeah, those are all the bigs, NBA template builds. A lot of them you can use. There's only a few that you really should not use, to be honest, because the other ones were just better. Like, who was it? Oh, Porzingis had a really good one too. Porzingis was a good one too for your comp. I think it was Mutombo. I can't remember who I said, but whoever I said was just mid, just don't use them. But that's all the bigs that we got. So if you guys want any other one before I do the other bit positions, we got shooting guard, small forward, and power forward next. I'll go ahead and drop that. But until then, I'll catch you on the next one.